build your foundation. Leave your mark on this creation. Legacy, build your kingdom. Yeah, build your kingdom. Legacy, build your kingdom with Rudy Knapp.
Welcome back, Kingdom Builders. I'm your host, Rudy Knapp, and this is Legacy, Build Your Kingdom. Before we dive into today's deep work, a quick reminder. If you are ready to stop playing small and start building a life of purpose, pick up your copy of Legacy, Build Your Kingdom, a divine blueprint, command your purpose, secure your future, and leave a legacy for generational impact. Think of those words: divine, command, secure, generational impact. Think about how significant they are. This is how you want your life to be left when you are long gone. This is how you want people to think of you when you are not here. Commanding your purpose, securing your future, and leaving that legacy for that generational impact when you're long gone. Now, I believe in passing that legacy now while you are living. But when you're gone, this is what you're remembered by. Whether you want the physical book to study, the Kindle version on your tablet, or the audio book to fuel your commute, the blueprint is available for you now on Amazon and Audible and on my website for life coaching, www.legacycoaching-buildyourkingdom.com. You can go to my website, you can check what I offer, and you can see if you want one-on-one attention, you want this life coaching that will help you build this kingdom, or you want some fitness training because you're working on your physical pillar, I offer all of that. It's also a place where you can purchase this book. So let's get into it. In our last episode, we talked about the power of the pivot. We explored how sovereignty isn't about being rigid. It's about being responsive. We broke down the 3 markers of a necessary pivot: stagnation, integrity, peace. We looked at the cost of the sunk cost exercise to help you stop letting past investments dictate your present reality. And we discussed creating a pivot contingency to ensure that when obstacles arise, you don't panic. You simply execute your plan. Today, I want to move into a topic that is perhaps the most critical for anyone trying to build something of lasting value: the alchemy of adversity. Now, I call it that because I want to show you in stages, or have a conversation in stages, of how we allow that to dictate our lives and how we can make that transformation. So, segment 1, the myth of the easy kingdom. When we talk about building your kingdom, the temptation is to imagine a smooth, ascending path. We want the growth without the grit. But if you look at the legacy blueprint, you'll see that every stage of true development is preceded by a season of resistance. Most people treat adversity as a sign that they are doing something wrong or they are on the wrong path. If the engine light comes on in their life, if the job gets hard, if the training gets grueling, or if the relationship hits a wall, they assume they've made a mistake. I'm here to tell you that adversity is not a sign that you are off course. It is the friction required to generate heat. Without heat, there is no transformation. Let that sink in. Segment 2, the story of the iron and the fire. To understand this, I want to tell you a story about my own journey in the weight room. A few years ago, I was deep into a specific strength cycle. I had a clear target, a specific weight I needed to move. But there was a week where everything felt off. My recovery was failing, my joints were screaming, my body was hurting. Every single rep felt like a battle against gravity itself. My mind started whispering the usual excuses. Maybe you're just tired. Maybe you should just scale back. Maybe this is too much for your current schedule. That was the friction. I realized in that moment that I had two choices. I could retreat, which would be the easy path, or I could embrace the struggle as the very thing that would force my body to adapt. I chose the latter. I didn't back down. I adjusted my intensity. I focused intensely on my recovery, and I pushed through the specific week of adversity. When I came out on the other side, not only did I hit my numbers, but my capacity for physical and mental discomfort had permanently expanded. I learned that the weight didn't need to be lighter. I needed to be stronger. That is alchemy. I took the resistance of the iron and turned it into the fuel of my own evolution. Segment 3, identifying divine resistance. In my own life, I had to distinguish between self-inflicted chaos and divine resistance. Self-inflicted chaos comes from poor choices, lack of boundaries, and violating your own standards. Divine resistance is the pushback you get because you are moving in a direction of growth. It is the resistance of the old version of yourself trying to keep you small. When you start upgrading your spiritual, your mental, your physical intelligence, you will face resistance. Your friends might not understand your new boundaries. Your body will ache as it adapts to new levels of strength. Your mind will crave the comfort of the lost mindset. This is the alchemy. You are literally turning the resistance into fuel for your kingdom. Segment 4, the 3-step alchemical process. How do you turn this resistance into fuel? You use a process I call alchemical process. Welcome the friction, number 1. When you feel the pressure, stop labeling it as bad. Label it as fuel. When you start to view resistance as the necessary raw material for your growth, your entire mental posture shifts. You stop being a victim of the problem and become an architect of the solution. Number 2, isolate the lesson. Every conflict is a data point. I'm a math guy, math teacher, STEM guy. It's data points. What is the specific challenge revealing about your current gaps? If you are frustrated by a teammate at work, the lesson might be your need to better communication or find stronger boundaries. Don't waste the data. Number 3, transmute the energy. Take that frustration, that frustrated energy, and pour it directly into your mission. Use the adrenaline of the challenge to hit a harder set at the gym, to write one more page in your manuscript, or to lead your household in a more intentional way. Do not let the energy dissipate in complaint. Segment 5, the pressure cooker example. I see this constantly in my role as a coach. I saw it in my role as a head coach for football when I was coaching football. When my players are in the fourth quarter of a tight game, the pressure is immense. The easy path is to fold, to point fingers, to blame the refs, or that we're tired or fatigued. But the sovereign path, the kingdom builder's path, is to embrace the pressure. I tell them pressure doesn't break you, it reveals you. If you prepare well, the pressure reveals your character. If you haven't prepared, it reveals your gaps. The same applies to you. Whether pressure you are under right now, financially, relationship, physical, it is simply revealing where you are and where you need to strengthen your foundation. Remember, we're building that kingdom, and we have 5 pillars, and it's going to identify where you need to work. Segment 6, the stewardship of suffering. This brings us back to our theme of stewardship. We often think of stewardship only applying to our successes, but stewardship applies to our suffering. How you handle a loss is a test of how you will handle a win. If you crumble when life gets difficult, you aren't ready to handle the weight of the kingdom you're trying to build. Your job is to remain sovereign in the storm. This means you do not let external circumstances dictate your internal state. You maintain your discipline, your nutrition, your focus, and your prayer life, regardless of whether the skies are blue or black. This is what it means to be unshakable. Segment 7, actionable strategy, the adversity journaling. To put this into practice, I want you to start adversity journaling. When you face a significant challenge this week, I want you to log it. Take actionable steps. This podcast isn't about us just talking about it. It's about us actually doing things to enhance our lives and build our kingdom. The catalyst. What exactly happened? Write it down. The initial reaction. What was your first, usually emotional, impulse? Write it down. The alchemical response. What is the sovereign way to use this event? How can I use this to get better? Write it down. When you treat your life as a lab and your challenges as experiments, you remove the emotional torture of the lost mindset. You become the scientist of your life. Conclusion. I want to wrap this all up. The takeaways today is this. Your adversity is not an obstacle. It is the currency of your transformation. Stop running from the heat and start using it to forge the steel of your character. This week, when you feel the pressure, don't shrink. Welcome the friction, isolate the lesson, and transmute the energy into action. Don't forget, pick up your copy of Legacy Build Your Kingdom on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible, and also on my website, www.legacycoaching-buildyourkingdom.com. Go on there, check out that site, see what I offer. Check out the book, purchase the book. Use these as blueprints. Use life coaching, use fitness training, use buying the book and reading the book, the actual blueprints. Use it to navigate your own path to sovereignty. Stay disciplined, keep your focus on what you can control, and leave a legacy that matters. Build your kingdom, but never forget who you're building it for. I'm Rudy Knapp. I'll talk to you next week.